we are here with another episode of the Final Percent Podcast, and I've got Dion with me, and we've basically been following each other around the country.
Literally.
And not real. Every time we walk into a room, all right, so I guess God's just putting us in these rooms for a reason.
Yeah.
I love what you're doing. I love your energy, everything that you've got going on. Why don't you just do a quick intro? Because, I mean, you're launching an ETF fund. You're, a financial guru / genius / just awesome human that people need to know. You're pretty freaking decent at baseball. So with the TFP softball league that's coming out, he's on my team. I already drafted him. I just got to let y'all know. He's basically just going to get up there and hit it out of the park, and we win. So just kind of intro, some of the things that people need to know about you to know you.
Yeah, I appreciate that, and thank you, man. Warm welcome. So I'm originally from Southside Chicago. My name is Dion Pouncil. I grew up in a single-family home.
Yeah.
My mom worked hard and did what she could for 3 kids, and but she was very firm on us for education.
Yeah.
And so it started with math when I was young. She literally taught me how to count with money, with physical notes.
Okay.
And then did really, really well in, math and science and stuff like that growing up. And it took off on the education side. I just so happened to love baseball.
Yeah.
So she tells this little story where she took me to take pictures when I was 2.
Uh-huh.
And I was crying, and then they gave me a baseball, and I was quiet instantly.
Okay.
And so she immediately put me in baseball. So I played high school, college, and pro baseball, played independent minor league baseball, and did that for a while. It didn't go exactly how I wanted to go from high school, college, etc. But I'm super grateful for the work ethic, the patience, the self-control, and the discipline that comes with it. And got into business. Afterwards, shortly, knew I didn't want to spend the rest of my life in the minors. Worked at ADP doing outside B2B sales.
Okay.
Then got to do some marketing with Bacardi Corporate. Then started a firm and, grew it to a substantial amount of money. But at the end of the year, I didn't have any money. Yeah. And I was like, wow, I know how to make the money. I know how to create the money, but I didn't know how to manage it and protect it.
Yeah, okay.
And so, that was very difficult for me to digest and understand. So once I got into the business side and the tech side and the consulting side, I met this guy literally in Dubai. He was a billionaire, and he was like, look, this actually may work. You're very smart, but I think you should go work for my hedge firm and you'll go much further.
Okay.
And so I went to LA and worked for his hedge firm for a while. And that's where I got exposed to trading and investing. That's where I got exposed to how rich and wealthy not only manage, create, and protect their money, but also grow their money, right?
Okay.
And went on to get licensed. I have a Series 3, which is a licensed futures trader, so commodity pool operator, commodity trading advisor. And so once I began to get success in trading, I was like, wow, you know what? A lot more people have my non-traditional route to finance or to trading and investing than the Ivy League or the traditional route to Wall Street.
Yeah.
And I was like, so with that, I was like, you know what? And my partner at the time, I was like, we should start a financial education company to teach people how to trade and invest. And so, we talked about it for 2 years. And then literally July 7th, 2020, I stayed up all night and created the deck and the marketing materials and the course because the firm that I had grew and made that money with was originally a marketing and advertising company. Okay. So I knew how to scale things through marketing, through advertising. So we launched it and we took it from $0 to $1 million in the first 90 days. And then we started to run ads and we did, about $5,000 a month for our first month of ads. And by month 3, we were spending $100,000 to $200,000 a month on Facebook ads. And we did, $1 million to $2 million net revenue a month for 18 months straight.
Okay.
And so I was literally running this all from my computer, my partner and I, and, just a very small team, as well as, doing the trading and investing. And, after a while, it clicked like, okay, it's cool making rich people richer. But my whole community, we've now have, over 20,000 students worldwide in our various programs less than 1% of them can actually invest into the hedge fund because they're not an accredited investor, they're not a QP, or they might not have 100K, or they might not have 100K liquid. And I said, so there has to be a way that this broader audience can participate in, equity growth and in generational wealth building and in investing without having to be an accredited investor. And so that's when I went down the rabbit hole, started researching ETFs, identified a quality partner, and decided I was going to launch an ETF. And literally May 28th, a couple of days ago, the SEC filing has went through, and now August 11th we go public.
August 11th, y'all.
Yes. And
so good.
Planning to ring the bell September 15th. So with those things now, is if you're 18,
you're on the stage, you're going to ring the bell.
So we're literally going to be ringing the bell live from the Florida New York Stock Exchange in mid-September. And literally now we have the opportunity that as long as you're 18 with a brokerage account, you can invest. And we're projected to go public at about $25 a share. So you're able to literally go, and as long as you're 18 with a bank account, doesn't matter race, gender, creed, finance background, etc., you can literally invest into ZPG and have the opportunity to grow your wealth.
I think the real question is, do you have a +1 on ringing the bell?
So good question. So what we're actually going to do is, so right now we're doing a private friends and family internal raise, and there's 3 opportunities to get into that. But on the night before the ringing of the bell, we're going to have all of our key investors at a private dinner in New York. And then, our top investors, we're going to allow them to actually come to the New York Stock Exchange with us, do the tour, be there ringing the bell with us, be a part of all the media.
How fun is that?
And then we're going to have a big after party in New York.
That's so good.
That night.
So there's a couple things that came up for me. That initial person who said, hey, you got some potential. How old were you?
I had literally just turned 28.
28.
Maybe the day before. I flew to Dubai. I was in Miami for my 28th birthday, and then a day or two later, I flew to Dubai, and that's when I met him.
So how important was that interaction for you?
It was very important and pivotal because I had did companies and started companies from scratch, and I've made some money, and I've raised some money, and I lost some money, and all the trials of being an entrepreneur. And I was working on a particular company that was a streaming company called Reflections, Reflektions. You could literally still look at it in the Apple Store right now. And I was going around Silicon Valley telling a lot of investors that people were going to pay for content because creators wanted to monetize their content because the tech companies owned all the data and all the information, and the culture was making these apps hot, but they didn't have any money off of it. And so people were telling me, no, nobody's going to pay for content because you got YouTube for free, you got Facebook for free. So I was like, you know what? I'm tired of talking to people trying to convince them. I'm just going to do an ICO and allow everybody to be a part of it. So the creators could get money and the investors could get money.
So for everyone who doesn't know what that is, what's an ICO?
So ICO is an initial coin offering. So it's like an IPO for the traditional capital markets, but the crypto allowed you to create your own token and essentially finance your project through fundraising, through investors, through that particular crypto coin.
Okay.
And so when I learned about that, I was going deep down the blockchain rabbit hole, and I was like, you know what, I'll do an ICO for this app and raise money that way and give the community the opportunity to do this.
Yeah.
And so when I was in Dubai, because I was at a crypto conference, I was at the World Blockchain Forum in Dubai in 2018, and Brock was the keynote speaker, and literally I had met him right at the VIP reception afterwards, and we were just talking, and I had an after party at my suite, and I was like, yo, I'm having an after party at my suite, you should come by, and we'll chop it up. And when you get money, millionaires and billionaires and most people with money try to be quiet and silent wealth, but when people know that you're there or you're around, they're always pitching you, and they always want you to invest in something, give them money for something, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And so when you're at that status and somebody approaches you offering to give, offering to serve, offering to, have a cool night out just as a bro, it was different. So we just literally connected. We started talking. He came to the after party. We kicked it. And then we literally had breakfast that next morning because he was like, you know, what are you doing for the rest of the trip? Because it was a big conference. And he was like, you know, you should come to breakfast with me. And I went to breakfast and I told him what I was doing. And that's when he asked me what I was actually working on. And that's when I told him about reflections. And then he was like, you know what, this is actually a great idea. I actually think it's going to work. I just don't know if the world is ready for a black dude to lead a company like that. And I was like, wow. I was like, first of all, thank you. I appreciate it. I respect. You are the first person, white, black, yellow, green, to have a honest conversation, direct conversation, a real human to human person conversation with me about this. And I appreciate you. I respect you for that. And he was like, yeah, man. So this is right when the original Black Panthers came out. And he was like, we're assembling Avengers for the things that we're doing here in the financial markets. And it's like, you're literally like the the Black Panther for the finance world, that things that we're working on. He was like, you know, go to LA. I'll tell them that you're coming and you'll meet with my guys and you'll work at the firm. And that's how it started.
That's so good. So was there any hesitation in you at all of saying yes to that opportunity?
No, because when preparation meets opportunity, you still got to seize it.
Yeah.
Right. And so I always was hip to, you know, the finance markets because I went to Hofstra in Long Island, New York, and a lot of people left Hofstra and went straight to Wall Street.
Yeah.
And so a lot of my colleagues to this day, some of them I know from Hofstra, literally work like at the New York Stock Exchange or at BlackRock or at Vanguard in finance.
Those small companies.
Exactly. And then I went to go play baseball. So I wanted to catch up when I got out.
Yeah.
And so when he introduced me into the finance game, I was like, yes, this is exactly what I want to do.
So what, you know, we've got a young market, you know, or a young, you know, contingent of people who are really interested in finances. Like, how can they protect their wealth? How can they make their wealth? What is wealth? Like, they've got all these things. If you were going to give some advice to, you know, let's say the 20-somethings out there, or maybe even early, like the 18-year-olds, like, what are some of the things that people need to pay attention to right now about money?
Well, first, it's your mindset. You have to really understand that money is just a tool and it's a concept, but in order to really comprehend it or understand that, you just got to really first ask yourself a question about what you think money is. And so because there's a lot of negative programming out there in the system, a lot of people have a negative relationship with money.
Yeah.
And that negative relationship or that negative energy that you're putting out when you're thinking about money, it's going to be hard for you to attract money in general. But once you understand what money is, or you decide why you want to use the money, then you can start to apply why, how, and what you're going to do it. So if I'm young, then I'm going to actually learn from people who know how to make money, know how to invest money, know how to trade money, because those are the people that's going to add the most value for me long term. If I can go intern, if I can go get a job, if I can study finance, that's what I would do first. And then I would learn from them until I get a skill set that I've like become the person for. Like, that's what you're known for.
Thing.
That's your thing. Yeah. Then I would take that and start my own and grow it from there. That's what I personally would do. But if you're starting from scratch from anywhere in the world, what you could do is you can learn how to trade. Because if you learn how to trade, everything in this world, you need energy and you need money. So if you want to be a doctor, you need money for your practice. If you want to be a lawyer, you need money for your practice. If you want to be an entertainer, you need money for your studio or for your coach or for your training. So you need money. So the shortest distance between 2 points is a straight line. So go and focus on how you can make money. I decided to do it through trading and investing. And if you can learn how to trade with a data-driven, proven strategy, then you don't need to ask anyone else for money. You don't need to work for anyone else for money. So then you can design your life and live the life that you want to live the way you want to live it if you have the ability to make money and trade money and use your money to make more money for you instead of you trading your time for money.
One of the things that I've said often is money is just a stored form of energy.
Potential energy.
Because if I've got money here and I can just pay someone to mow my lawn, I now don't have to mow my lawn. It's a stored form of energy. We were talking about this earlier. You know, like me and my business partner Rebecca, we just got done working out, and we're trying to make sure that we get to this podcast. But we're like, okay, can we get through the casino and up to the room, and then can we, you know, change and then get back through the casino and get back to the hot tub and then get back to the room? Or do we just buy more bathing suits? Well, we're in Vegas, so everything's $4,000. But
inflation.
Yeah, you know, right? But the thing is like there's time, there's energy. I want extra time on my recovery for my body. And so it's like, at what point is it worth it? If you have that stored form of energy, are you going to gain better recovery? Are you going to gain this? Are you going to gain that? And I think a lot of people they misunderstand money. And at the end of the day, money is a currency. And so if you look at what has a current, water, you just got to understand the flow. You just got to understand the flow of money. Is it being stored? Is it in a reservoir? Is it moving by? One of the great things that I think a lot of people need to understand, and a lot of people don't understand how much money I'm talking about. $2.4 trillion. People don't understand how much money that actually is. It's a lot of money. But $2.4 trillion changes hands every single day.
Yeah.
That's the current of money. There's that much money moving every day. So you're telling me...
And it's all measurable.
So you're telling me that you and I can't grab a bucket while this current's going and just be like, gotcha, bitch. Like, I'm gonna take some of that. So that's how easy it is. We can just take the money.
We could go deeper.
Yes.
So I'm a firm believer, like, if you understand the first 3 laws of Newtonian physics, you can literally control your world. If you could control your energy and you can control your emotions, you can control your world.
Yes.
And that includes money, right?
Yes.
So if money is just energy, right? The root word of current is cur. The root word of cur literally means energy.
Yes.
So if we came off of the gold standard, 1913, you got the creature of Jekyll Island where the Fed is created. 1933, we're essentially getting ready to come off of the gold standard in 1971. Nixon takes it off the gold standard, and it actually becomes a fiat currency. So now it's only backed by the good and faith and confidence of the Federal Reserve of the United States. Yeah. And so it's really just
a private entity.
It's a private entity.
A lot of people don't know that.
So money really is just a social contract. Yeah. It's a social contract, and it's a essential, note where you all are in agreement of what the value is. Yeah. And so if you understand that, then you can understand that, okay, cool, because money is just energy, and or the concept of money that most people understand is that it's not real. And if we understand it as energy, now if I can control my energy, then I can control my world. Because the first law of Newtonian physics is that an object, or the first law is that every action has an equal opposite reaction.
Exactly right.
That's every action, right? So then the second law of Newtonian physics is that an object in rest will remain at rest unless an equal or greater force is acted upon it.
Exactly.
And then the third law is an object that is in motion will continue in motion unless an equal or greater force is acted upon it. So money is just energy, and money has a calculable vibration and energy. And if we can control our energy, then if we focus on money, and that is a thought, that is energy, that is action, we're literally putting that energy towards money. So money must come back to us. Exactly. If I put my thought towards my goal must start working towards me. So that's the first law of physics. Every action has an equal opposite reaction, not just the actions that we know, like, want, etc. Well, every action we putting that out. So if I'm thinking about money,
the key word here, and I think people need to understand, it's not just thought, guys. He's saying the word action.
Literally.
So you have to fucking take action. Like, you sitting there over the chair meditating on money, please come to me. Right. It's not gonna happen. You gotta take some fucking action.
You'll know a tree by the fruit that it bears. Yeah. Right. So if you truly believe something, then your actions will be in alignment with what it is that you actually believe or what you say you believe. So if I know those things, I can leverage those things in my favor, right? The reason that we're able to fly humans 500 miles an hour, 10,000 feet in the air through an aluminum tube is because we literally understand the physics and laws behind exit velocity, maintenance velocity, decreasing gravity, momentum. We literally understand the mathematical laws. So flight is like 6 Sigma. And Six Sigma means that you have only 6 failures for every 1 million attempts. So we can now literally fly people with precision across the world.
With a high confidence.
With a high confidence and understand how that manipulation of that energy works. So we're taking that faith and then we're putting it into action. So I can apply that to money, right? If I'm thinking about money and I have a desire for it, I can now put a plan in place to start acting and start working towards it. Now, what could that be for you? For somebody, they might want to go get a job. For somebody, they might want to go and create a business. But for people who know what money is, they're going to use their energy to create something that makes money for them. You were talking about earlier how you wanted to do something and you created that that business or that product line or that
the value
course
just
or
to get it done.
and you get it done because of what you charged, right?
Yeah.
And so that's what I think everybody, if you have that approach, no matter what it is, you can actually make those things happen.
Well, and that's the thing, if you believe in the law of attraction, we're essentially talking about focus. Focus is action. It's focused in thought. When you are worrying, worry is actually the highest degree and form of focus because it's all consuming. So if you are worrying about money and it's not going to happen, it's literally like praying for your problems to come true. So you've got to focus on how am I creating money? How am I going to be abundant? You have to do this. One of the things I was talking to, one of our new team members and a good business partner of mine, yesterday, her name's Rebecca. She's actually in the room. She's sitting right there. But I said, do you understand the laws of physics? And she said, yeah, I understand what they are. I said, so right now you're 25. You've got this construct in your head of the way money works, the way business works, the way relationships work, all of these things. And in a lot of ways, she meets someone like me. I'm 40 and I'm moving and shaking and, she's getting exposed to a lot of things. I'm breaking her laws of physics. And so there's a lot of times I say, hey, this is how you should move with your money. This is where you should place this. This is what, these are the possibilities. And then she keeps trying to apply the 25-year-old thought process and laws of physics. I'm like, no, those don't work. This is what it is. And then the same thing, I get Dan, who's also in the room. We just did a podcast. I talk with him. And then he's able to break my laws of physics. Because I'm like, Dan, this is how you do it. And he looks at me and he's like, no, it's not. This is what you're going to do. And then he uses my language on me. Don't give friction to your mentors. And then eventually I capitulate and I do it. But the biggest thing is finding the people who can show us what's possible. And then are we willing to do the work?
That's an amazing, powerful point you just said. You're literally altering their understanding of the social construct at the level that they are.
Exactly.
And because you've been through that and experienced that, then they can essentially skip all of those.
Yeah.
And
decades into days.
And not have to pay the ignorance tax. Right?
Oh, I paid that. I paid that.
Yeah.
With interest.
Right.
Multiple times.
It's like, listen,
man.
This person has actually went through it. They have proven results that they've actually achieved that thing.
Yeah.
And you can learn from them either through mentorship, either through paid mentorship, either through their book, but you can the shortest distance between 2 points is a straight line. So you can literally tell them what to do so that they don't have to go through that experience. One of my favorite books is called The Wisdom of Failure.
Yeah.
And in the book, he talks about all of these, major business blow-ups, Enron and, all of those. And the whole premise of the book is humans learn through experience, right? Yeah. And so, but the premise is you don't have to go through the experience personally to learn from the experience.
Oh, it's so good.
So in the hood, we would say, I don't have to do crack to know crack is bad, right? In my experience, I can see somebody on the corner having a very negative experience with that, and I can choose not to have that in my experience.
This seems like a bad idea.
Right? But I just learned from that person's experience, and now I can choose not to have that in my experience or not to choose that route, and I can go this route. And so what you just said was you can actually get that and accelerate it by having the mentors, because they could say, okay, I see potential in you. I see you want to go from point A to point B, and I'm already at point B or point F, and I could tell you how to get there relatively quicker not doing what you're doing, do this. And and if they believe
do it,
and they trust and obey and they do it and they execute, they've now accelerated their learning curve and they've saved so much time and energy. And now they're able to move faster. And so you feel good because you've helped somebody.
Hell yeah, that's what it's all about.
You see the light bulb go off and they're able to execute, and then they feel good because they got a mentor that's really helping them and they've actually executed on what it is that they were trying to achieve.
And that's unfortunately the kind of world that we live in. Anytime someone's trying to help you, where it's like truly, like Dan and I were just talking about this, the amount that Dan has just helped me that has zero bearing on whether or not it's going to come back to him, like, is astonishing to me. Like, at first it felt a little weird. I'm like, why, bro? Like, what? Like, I'm not used to this because it's not a transaction; it's a relationship.
Yep.
Let's talk about, we'll end. I feel like we're definitely gonna have you back on many times. This is good stuff, man.
I'll be glad. I'll be glad.
Tell me the importance. Like, I love ending with this. Is like the importance of mentorship. The importance of, having the people who've been there before that can help you through it. Give me your take on the importance of mentorship and being able to move forward with people who've been there before.
Yeah. So what people first have to realize is that faith and fear are both belief systems. You're choosing to believe, and then your actions are saying that I believe that this future outcome will be in my favor.
Yeah.
If you are choosing fear as a belief system, you're saying that you believe that it's not going to work out in your favor. But for the people who choose faith and to believe in their goals and their visions, people, places, and things will be provided to you to help you get to that goal. And so when you come across a good mentor that has been proven and that has executed what it is that you're trying to achieve, and they either give you an opportunity to learn from them, you either pay for that mentorship, you either buy their book, donate into their charity or foundation, or you go work for them and you learn so that you can actually know the skill set and the principles to execute. It's one of the most powerful and important things. And that's another reason why I read so much, because you can't get to all of the people that you may want to learn from. But if they have a book, if they have a course, if they have a resource where you can learn how they think and how they execute things, it's a very powerful thing. And you're doing these things as a person, and you are teaching people how to do that as well. So you are literally creating, mirrors and generations of yourself, like each one teach one.
Yeah.
Right. And so it's a very
good.
powerful thing.
So just to wrap things up, we're launching an ETF.
Yes.
How do people find the ETF? Like, everyone who listens to this, if you do not buy some shares of this, y'all missed the point of the episode. You're getting an opportunity. If you're listening to me, if I'm your mentor, if you like what I'm doing, I'm telling you, I co-sign for this dude all day. I love this dude. He's got, I say, words can lie, energy can't.
That's a fact.
This guy, and we just talked about energy, and it was funny, before we started this whole thing, I said, is there anything you want me to touch on? And he's just like, nah, like, whatever comes out, comes out. That's the way that, like, I like those ones. So I'm telling you right now, listen to your mentor. If do not give friction to your mentor. Get in on what he is doing, because he is the right person with the right vehicle at the right time. How do they, and when can they invest in this fund?
Yeah, so there are 3 opportunities. One, we have established a charitable foundation, right? Because you can invest, but you can also make an impact. So you can actually pledge to the charitable trust whatever amount that you want to pledge. Number one. Number 2, it can be pledged at 100K or $1 million to the actual
or 10 million
foundation. There are no limits, right? And then you have the opportunity to join through the investment part, where you can actually invest into the private credit firm that holds all of the entities, and the RIA, which is actually launching the ETF. So you have an opportunity to pledge and or invest into that. And then you also have the opportunity to just donate. And when you donate, you can actually have one of the courses be given to somebody else.
Oh, that's cool.
And so if you're a charitable organization or you're a foundation or a person, you could actually donate the course amount, and we will provide the course to somebody that couldn't afford it.
Oh, that's so good.
So with the ETF directly, you can invest into ZPG, which is the ticker, zeros plus growth. ZPG, zeros plus growth.
I'm just saying, he said that with some swag.
Yeah.
Say that again, man.
ZPG.
Man, he's got that down. That's good, man.
For sure. And you can do that directly when we go public on the New York Stock Exchange. But if you want to get in before, the IPO, then you can pledge and you can donate. And if
for the evergreen people who are watching this, in a month, ZPG, I don't say it nearly as swagadocious as he does, but for the people who are going to listen, this is going to come out in a week or so. How can they get in touch with you to try to find more out about this opportunity?
Yeah, so on all social media platforms, I'm at Dion Pouncil, just my name, so you can learn about more about me.
Spell the last name, because for people like me, they're going to get it wrong.
Dion is my first name. Last name is Pouncil. And so that's all social media platforms. Then when it specifically comes to pledging, it's Fusion Quant Technologies is the website that you can visit to pledge for the ZPG ETF. If you want to pledge for the charitable trust, you can visit hybridcharitabletrust.com, and that will give you the opportunity to pledge into the trust. And then if you just want to wait until we go public, you can literally go on the New York Stock Exchange or all of your favorite brokerages accounts like Total Trading Terminal or Robinhood or Webull. You can actually be able to buy, invest, and trade into ZPG.
So, and just to reiterate, guys, this is someone with the right intentions, with the right backing, the right vehicle that actually cares. So there's a lot of people out there that you can invest in. There's a lot of vehicles out there that you can invest in that do not care. They don't. The amount of caring that's going behind this, I need you to understand that it is a great opportunity, a great vehicle. So I want you to take action and put some of that stored energy, i.e. money, to work and let him do his job. So this has been another episode of the Final Percent Podcast. Thank you very much, man. I appreciate you, dog.
I appreciate you,
All right,
bro.
man. Cheers.